I did that. This one takes back. Okay. So as I said in the last video, I wasn't even thinking about doing this. I was honestly thinking about doing this because it was so easy and yeah. And I really don't do graphic. I try not to. So and I said I was gonna focus on the psychology and the body language. Maybe some ways I can give you little things after that and be done. So okay. Okay. Well, the body language was unbelievable. Um, First of all, she talked a lot in the police interrogation video, a lot, and she probably overshared. And also, there's one thing I didn't talk about in the first video, but whenever you make a statement or whenever you talk to police, they want you to have a written statement, and they say be as detailed and accurate as possible. And she seemed to be pretty accurate on the times, and that's just incredible because most people ask them, when did you do this, and give me a time. They'll always give you like a little window, maybe. But a lot of people don't remember. I think it's like, okay, well, I ate at say 5:05 p.m. Nobody does that for the most part. You have to do that and have that kind of behaviors all at one time. So, but one or two doesn't necessarily mean anything. Okay. So another thing I found kind of disturbing is when they were talking about her child, her youngest child. This child is not even 2 years old, and they're discussing her child and what happened to him. She had no emotion, no remorse whatsoever. That's really odd to me. And I'm not even a parent, so, you know. Okay, so let's get on to some witnesses here. I started watching for myself around day 3. So day 3, they had her ex-boyfriend, and his witness testimony led into day number 4 too. So it was 3 and 4. But he was, I would say, a very good, credible witness, and he seemed to be very the most remorseful person when they talked about what happened to the child. So I think he genuinely loved him and her other son too, and of course his daughter with her, Sky. So yeah. Okay. And then, and then another thing, which I probably talked about in the first video, was I didn't like the defense lawyer at all because some of his methodology I just didn't agree with whatsoever. Because I understand you have a job to do, but there's a way you can do it without being like a jerk. And I want to say something else, but I'm trying to be nice here. But yeah. Okay. So then we move on to a neighbor of hers, and this is a neighbor that she claimed she went to get Oragel for some pain relief after having a tooth pulled the the same day. So this is like the night of, or very early next morning, where she claims she went to this woman's house to get this, and the woman said, "No, she has not. I haven't seen this woman in like 6 months. No way." Um, okay, so that was interesting. And then the next witness was her babysitter, Michelle. Um, and she just was a straight shooter. I liked her a lot. She said that when you're a parent, you're supposed to take care of your children, and when you have more than one child, you usually take care of them at the same time. And the defense attorney was trying to lessen her credibility by saying, "Well, Miss So and So, just because you do it that way doesn't mean that everybody has to do it the same way." And she said, "Well, no, they don't. You would think that a parent would care about their child." And I was like, "Yes." And like I said, I don't have kids, but I still have that, where I want the best for someone else's kids even. So yeah. Um, so yeah, I liked her a lot, and just as a witness, and uh, and then another thing, I just happened to see it, and you had to be watching it right at that moment to see what I'm going to talk about. But when the judge declares you like you're not on the stand anymore and you can be free, that you're not going to be called as a witness again. Uh, she said, "Well, Miss So and so, I forget her last name. You can stay in the courtroom if you want, but you don't have to." And she's like, "Well, thank you, Judge." And she sprinted for the door. And it's like, whoa, she just does not want to be around this person. And I mean, I understand it, but like to see the body language of her versus, the convicted was so strange. But I mean, well, I agree with her, number one, but I wouldn't want to be around that kind of energy either. So, but I just found that kind of interesting and um, somewhat funny. But the subject matter of the case is not funny at all. I just want to put that out there also. All right. Bye, guys.